Along with the US bribery charge indictment order, the court documents of an arrest warrant against Gautam Adani were unsealed to disclose them to the international law enforcement officials. An indictment marks the start of legal proceedings and is not a declaration of guilt. Now, following the billionaire industrialist indictment on allegations of fraud and bribery, a warrant for his arrest was unsealed last month in a New York court. The court document states that Judge Robert Levy had ordered its unsealing on the 31st of October 2024, and foreign law enforcement authorities were given access to the unsealed indictment and arrest warrant. Now, the United States Attorney Office for the Eastern District on New York filed a motion to have the warrant unsealed. So what is an indictment? An indictment marks the start of the legal proceedings and not a declaration of guilt. A grand jury formally charges someone with a crime by issuing an indictment, and this does not prove guilt, but it shows sufficient evidence does exist to press charges. A grand jury heard the prosecution's case and reached a verdict that warranted the filing of charges against Gautam Adani for several violations of US federal law. Now, the indictment also contains crucial legal aspects such as the specific offences against Adani are laid forth in the detailed charges. The summaries of the evidence that supports the charges, what US laws were allegedly broken.
It is only an indictment, as the name itself suggests. It is only the person, there are the charges, that's it. So if you've seen the press release, that press release itself says that a person is presumed to be innocent till found guilty.
Following the filing of an indictment, the prosecutor requests that the court issue is essentially an arrest warrant. Arrest warrants are not issued by US courts unless there is a belief that the accused would willingly show up for the court. Now, instead of a warrant, the court may send summons to the defendant if they are considered to be cooperative. The courts may opt to issue summons instead of a warrant if it determines that Adani is complying or is not likely to escape. Now, Adani's legal team could try to get this option negotiated.
The arrest warrant also, I have not seen the paper myself. It was read to me by a couple of journalists. So they said that the document reads that it is for getting the information, for giving documents. For that, the proper procedure is letter rogatory. The letter rogatory is sent to India and then it is given. So it is not like somebody would come with the handcuffs and jump the planes like a Bond movie and arrest the person and take him away.
Now, the accused's whereabouts determine the arrest procedure. Things get pretty tricky when the defendant is outside of the United States. The US authorities then have two options. Either they utilize the diplomatic channels to commence extradition proceedings, which would need assistance from the Indian government under the US-India extradition treaty, or they could request an Interpol red notice, which would notify the law enforcement globally. Now, to avoid any potential leaks, it's also common practice to first seal the indictments involving foreign people such as Adani. Now, the United States' ability to prosecute Adani hinges on its extradition. US courts can only hear cases involving crimes committed within the country or against US residents. Both the United States and India must recognize the alleged crime as illegal for the extradition to happen. Now, beyond that, the United States needs to provide the Indian government with enough proof of what has happened. And after that, the Indian government will, of course, look at the request through the lens of the Indian law and the treaty's provisions. Finally, the Indian courts may be asked to hold hearings to determine if the evidence warrants an extradition. Now, following his arrest or voluntary appearance, Adani would be taken through the official court procedure of arraignment, during which the accusations against him are read out, and is asked to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. A trial, if the case goes forward, the prosecution will have the burden of proving guilt beyond reasonable doubt. For example, if the accusations are political, then there are human rights concerns or there isn't enough proof, extradition could be prohibited. Now, in response to the indictment and media reports on the charges, the Adani Group has denied the allegations and has termed them to be completely baseless in a mandatory stock exchange filing. Now, the statement said, and I quote, "There are no allegations that have been made against the company." For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.